realize you're not really a bad person all along, or, you stop guilt tripping yourself. You realize, in this moment I am free. I am made of love, as everybody else on earth. And I was looking at trending things. Lemongrass chai latte. This is very good, by the way. But I was looking at trending stuff this morning, and looking at what's trending is sometimes very disappointing, especially when it's global conflicts. But NASA's Voyager 1 was trending because in November of this year, it is going to reach one light day away from Earth, which it makes me cry thinking about like how far we've come as a civilization. Because the other day I was looking up, actually it was last night, I saw these Chinese agentic AI robots. And what agentic means is like it can basically autonomously perform tasks without additional guidance, like how you manually enter into Gemini or ChatGPT. It can almost think for itself, like you give it a whole prompt of things to do, and the robot basically left fluidly, like it can walk up and down stairs very fluidly, pick up items, and do a bunch of different things. And it was speaking in Chinese, but it sounded like a real person, which was even more interesting. And it just, it brings watery tears to your eyes when you think about how far things are advancing. And like one light day, like how far that is, insanely far. I mean, I think the sun was like 7 or 8 light minutes. So tenfold that, like 9-fold that is like an hour, and then 24-fold that on top of that, like that's incredibly far. And I just think it's definitely happening much more rapidly than even I myself thought. Like, I was foreseeing a lot of this stuff, but my goodness, it might even happen sooner. Like, it's insane. And if you saw like Boston Dynamics new robot, like the moves it can make and all the flexible joints, like it's here, iRobot is here, okay? Terminator, whatever you want to call it, is here. I definitely think the last step is making them look more human. They have yet to really perfect that. But once they do, oh, we're in trouble, child. Oh, girl, you in trouble. You can't. I really do think we will reach an age very shortly where you can't tell what's real, what's not. I think it's already there with like online videos and stuff, but it's very fascinating to me. This is like the future I imagined as a kid, but even more extreme. Like, I actually thought we would get like flying cars like publicly available and hologram technology before we would get machines. I thought machines was like the last step. Chill, we got the machines first, baby, and then we're getting the flying cars and the hologram. Oh, the hologram is supposed to come out in the next 4 years, which is pretty cool. But anyway, probably sooner at this rate. But yeah, so this is stuff, not like I don't consume myself myself with this stuff maybe like 5% of my time, honestly, because I like to go in nature. I like to disconnect. I think we're way too much on our phones, myself included. I'm guilty. But, Instagram is, I think, the thief of joy. I find sometimes I spend way too much time on there than I should, quite honestly. Stubble scratching. My big ass chin. But I don't even know what to do with my hair anymore. Like, I'm gonna cut it today, but it's driving me nuts. I don't like when it gets too long because I keep pulling it and playing with it, so I just like to keep it short. And it gets like, mine doesn't get oily like that, but like I don't like oily hair. It grosses me out. Like, so I just sort of like to chop, so I don't have to deal with that, and I don't have to I still wash it even if it's like this small. I wash my hair every day, no matter what size. But like, it's just so much easier to take care of when it's like half a centimeter long. But hello, poopsies, and thank you for watching my videos. I just thought I would quickly announce that if you happen to be interested in any of my services, like tarot card reading or Reiki healing, you can simply check me out on TonyBomboni.com. I'd really appreciate your support on there. Anytime you book a service, you also help support this YouTube page. Every time you book a service, you get a video of your recorded session to your email inbox. Just make sure you use that coupon code TONY2 for 20% off. Thank you, and I hope you continue to enjoy my video. I don't know, like, I foresaw a lot of stuff in my regressions, and maybe I could do a scribble channeling real quick. I'm a psychic, as you know. Yes, I offer tarot reading services on my website, but as you know, but I also can do like scribble channels, so I'm just gonna shut my eyes for a bit. I immediately am getting like 2027. Something with 2027 is gonna be, I hear, significant, so I'm gonna write that down. Significant. There's a reason I'm talking about this today. I'm picking up something spiritually. Oh, I feel like that's when changes happen too fast. Like, I already feel like it is, but like I think that's when the changes happen. Like, so quick, people will not see what's coming. People will not know what hit them, That's what I feel. I'm hearing something with machinery. I feel like it will affect jobs. They're like factory jobs. I feel like they're, last time I checked, I think 1 million jobs in the US alone were lost last year to AI. So this year's going to be more, 4 to 5 million globally. So I feel something with factory machines like that. That's going to be the next to go, allegedly. That's what I feel. I don't know why I'm hearing like something will have to change with people's plumbing. Like the way plumbing and electricity works, it's not going to be the same. It's going to be like a different, like upgraded version. I can't explain what. Like different piping, it's going to be so much easier and simpler. It's not going to be as complex as we have stuff now. So I'm going to write that down. actually seeing the hologram right now, and I'm getting like 2029. Hologram tech. And it's like, it starts maybe in front of a screen, but then it ends up like how you see in Star Wars. I've never watched Star Wars, but I've seen it in Star Wars, where it's like they're holding this thing and it pops out of the thing, like that. Like that's gonna come shortly after, but first it's gonna pop out of your screen, and then it's gonna pop out of like things like maybe even your hand or something like crazy like that. I mean, technically we already technically have some form of hologram. Those, glasses that you can see things in front of you. That's a form, an illusion of it. But it's not real. It's not like in your face. Like this is gonna be like in your face. Like you can put your hand through it. I hear something about 2030, 2031. Like there's no going back. Like in like an extreme form. Like, yeah. I mean, it's already like that, but like this is like, oh yeah, no, there's no turning point, but like there is no at all. Like no matter how hard you try, it's not. Like the future is here, and it's no matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter what anyone tries to do, it's like the past is dead, it's over, it's done. That's what I feel in the spirit. That's what I'm channeling and picking up. So I felt like doing this spontaneously because I think it is important to know your future. I believe to some degree I might be a time traveler because I've been picking up on this stuff as a kid, intuitively. No, I don't feel like I'm gifted. I just feel like I probably was here before, and I'm coming back to correct some wrongdoings. So this timeline is very familiar to me, so it's kind of boring to me as well because it's very predictable. But nonetheless, and I do believe people who have foresight to see into the future easily have already been here before in another timeline to some degree, but that's too advanced for some people to understand, I guess. And it destroys people's belief systems when they realize they're greater than they actually are told in a book. So, but anyway, your soul is so multi-dimensional. You're not just what you see and hear and read. You're so much more. And if only people could realize their true potential and greatness, they could do so much more with their life, And they could just realize how awesome they are. Really, we are all multi-dimensional beings. And the more you tap into that, you are entering that quantum field of, almost I like to call it like detanglement, like you're detangling from the program. And, it seems like everyone's saying that nowadays, but it's really simple, it's very straightforward. And I think the more we advance with quantums, science and stuff, people are gonna realize that, like, oh shit, like this whole time we were part of this quantum entanglement, jumbo mumbo, fabricated universe, that's not even real. It's like you're laying a cloth over. It's hard to explain, but it's like you're laying a cloth over a veil, like another imaginary cloth. Like that's how fake our reality is, and you're enmeshed in that fabric, but sometimes the two blend and merge, and they're kind of like this, like waves on top of each other, and that's why you sometimes see different dimensions. And then there's other layers, kind of like above and below that, but they're like quilts, like blankets, but they're not really layers. We perceive them linearly, but they're really like this and like this, and they're invisible, like they're enmeshed, right? Kind of like how you sew and knit, kind of like that. But that's not even accurate because it's a free-flowing energy. The higher dimension you go, the more the quilt moves. Like when you boil water, the more the particles move, and it gets so light you can't even see it anymore. You know, when you spin something very fast, you can't even see it spinning. It just looks like one image. And that's the image we see when something's spinning very quickly. We're just seeing that one still image, but, you know, it's like you're seeing only that still image, but you're not seeing what actually is spinning. And when you get to the different dimensions, you start to see what's warped. And so it's mind-blowing, and it's hard to explain because we are not in that dimension. We don't. This computer in your head cannot process something that dimensional. You're only allowed to process up to the third, some of the fourth. You know, beyond that, you can't really explain exactly what it looks like and what it appears, because you're in this entangled quantum fabric and you're supposed to stay there, you know. And if you even tap into it even further or find out even more, it's almost like you vanish, like you automatically enter that dimension because you're now at that state of vibration. I don't know if that makes sense. So, I really do think it is about, like, we're starting to see more because we're entering that new vibration, and we're having more advancements because we're slowly entering that new vibration. Everything's making more sense with time. Everything's happening quicker, you know, because the water is boiling. We are in this boiling water right now, and it can be painful, but it can be freeing and liberating for some people, you know. So that's my opinion, the best way I can word it. That I guess makes sense to me. But yeah, that's very interesting. Significant. 2027 next year. Significant year. Quick changes. Something with factories, machines. Changing how plumbing and electric works. Hologram 2029, and then there's no going back. 2030, 31. Yeah, that's, I guess, what Spirit wanted to say today. I've been feeling my guides more lately. I don't know if you have, but I've been doing these certain meditations for the last several months now, like one every week or couple weeks when I'm not too occupied. It's like golden ray meditations and Christ-like meditations and Christ consciousness, whatever it's called, and violet flame. They're very interesting, and they're like an hour long each, but like I can't explain what I feel after. I'm not even sure. It's hard to connect with certain ones like violet flame. It's very difficult, but I definitely feel like the golden ray. Like I tried the golden ray twice. Once I was in Maryland and I did that meditation. I swear the whole room got so warm. It was filled with light. It, like, even my partner walked in after I was done. He was like, "Oh my God, why is it so hot in here?" And my body was warm. Mind you, it was like 20 degrees outside and the house was cold. The whole room felt like 80 degrees. I just felt like heat emitting off my body. And again, I did it the other day outside. I'm like, okay, fine, since it heated up the whole house, let me try going outside. Child, outside felt like 100 degrees. After, you know, I'm very lucky to be able to meditate outside this time of year. It's very, very pleasant, beautiful weather this time of year. It's like low 70s on average. So, I'm just on the sunbed and I'm meditating and my whole body feels on fire. I'm like part of the sun. I feel like the whole planet has turned into a molten sun. Like, it's amazing what energy does. And so it makes you realize you're more than just your body. You know, you are definitely 100% an energy body. And you have the power, the ability seat and merge with something that you're focused on with all your might, like in a meditative state, and to realize your own power. I want you to realize that is so empowering. It's not just hoodoo talk. Like, you actually have the ability, and using just not just the power of your mind. Like, we're so beyond that. Like, manifesting power of your mind. No, that's BS by now. You are the power. Your whole entire being is the power. Okay? Your soul is the power. Okay? Let's stop trying to manifest the simple things in life, like a new car, a new house. Okay, have we not evolved beyond that? Okay, move on to manifesting your core life. Move on to manifesting your purpose. I would much rather, even if it's a hard life, I would much rather manifest my purpose, why I came here to begin with, than be distracted by the little stupid things in life. Like a new freaking car. Who cares about that anyway? Nobody cares about your Louis Vuitton bag anymore. Nobody cares about, the hotel you went to anymore. Let's focus on what really matters, what really counts. Because the way we're advancing, and what I just talked about in the next 5 years out, no one's gonna give a shit about those things anymore. People are gonna be like, look at my new robot I just unboxed, right? That's gonna be way more, probably special and important than a stupid bag. You know what I mean? If you want to like the bag, look, treat yourself by all means, but it's lost its validity. Like, nobody really cares about those hauls anymore, Like these celebrities showing off their new engagement ring. Oh my gosh, like, have we not moved on from a dumbed down society who's distracted by bling, right? I never bought those things. I never will. I don't care how much money I have. I'm never going to buy some, jewelry. It's so beyond me. Like, I'm driving my same car that's paid in full I have it since 2017. I have the same make and model since 2015. Like, I just changed to a slightly newer one because I got into a horrible car accident, but since 2015 I have the same type of car. I could have bought 3, 4, 5 cars by then probably. No, I keep the same car. Those things don't mean shit to me, It's just material. You can't take it with you when you die. It doesn't make you any happier. You get it. You're a little bit of a rush for 2 weeks, and then you're back to your baseline emotion, We have a baseline emotion. I've known people who have, like, won lottery and stuff like that, like in the hundreds of thousands. They're no better off than, they were before. In fact, sometimes they're even worse. They're even more depressed, ill, sad, unlucky, desperate, and most times they lose it or they drink their brains off. Like, they just are so not, it doesn't mean anything, anymore. And I think, I'm kind of glad we live during these times. That's very humbling, because, like, with, first of all, money that's worthless nowadays, it doesn't have the same value it used to, earning a certain amount, it's not the same, everything's doubled, tripled, so, I think it just, not only humbled a lot of people, respectfully, it made them evolve. It made them realize there's more to life than what is here, what we were taught and raised to believe. And there's a statistic that I think it was like only 35% of college students can now get jobs, no, it was agree that, like, this is gonna get them the job they're looking for, or like the life they want, like 35%, and that's like really causing a huge decline in people even attending college, because they realize they've been lied to. I've been saying this for years. It's all BS. We're in like a system that is a huge fat lie, and it's all because of money, really. Greedy corporations and entities that just harvest from you. They take from your soul, and yeah, you have to eat and pay a roof over your head and have some clothes in your bag and water in your belly, but it's so draining to even think about, and where we're heading not going to have to think about your retirement, and it's, people are still having a pessimistic attitude, like, this is not where we're entering. It kind of is, that's all part of the ascension. There's going to be different timelines you go down. Some people are going to just, you're not going to hear from them again. They're going to either pass or they're going to go into the next dimension. And you're going to enter your unique dimension where you decide you want your reality to be. I'm already deciding where I want my reality to be. And that's where I'm going to go. That's the true manifestation, is what timeline are you choosing to live and exist in? And we all go on different paths. We part ways sometimes. Sometimes where you are forgetting about certain people for a certain period of time. And then you suddenly think about them, like you completely forget they exist, and then you come back to their page, or, you contact them and reached out to them. That's kind of already been happening with a lot of folk, myself included, and that's the timeline split. That's where people are really separating and coming back, separating, coming back. But then there's gonna come a time, very shortly. It's gradual, but very, very shortly, where they're gone. Like they're gone for good. It's almost like they vanish off the face of the earth, and you never hear from them again. You don't know what happened. They're just not in your same dimension anymore. And that's what I'm talking about. That could be what I'm channeling here, where I say it's too late to turn back. That could be 2030, 2031. That could be like, okay, you're just in your own timeline. They're in theirs, and that's it. You don't appear in their timeline. They don't appear in yours. So in the next 4 years, 5 years, what do you really want to focus on? What do you really, really want? Right? It's time to think about those things maturely, but still enjoy life. Still, again, like I said earlier, tap into that inner child. Don't forget that inner child. Take that with you into the new timeline too, okay? Make sure they have fun too, because they're just a kid, right? Because none of this is that serious at the end of the day, It really isn't. You're gonna look back and say, dang, I wish I enjoyed my timeline more, when I incarnated. So, yeah. Some people think reincarnation is a trap. It's not real. It's just a construct. Hey, if you don't like the concept of reincarnation, don't make that your timeline. What can I say? You hold the key. You hold the power. You hold the ability to make your timeline the way you want it to be. Okay? That's it. Let's start manifesting timelines. Let's stop manifesting bags, okay? Bags, like the fact that people are actually manifesting things like that, it shrinks you. It makes you so small. You are so much more than a house. You are so much more. It's time to start realizing this. We have to sit in silence sometimes and start realizing things, right? Okay. So, only thing you should use money for is a tool to get what you want in life. That's it. All right. Especially nowadays, with it being so, worth less and less with time. So, and, invest it to something that actually is worth something, that actually does hold value, So, and not just that, don't do it just for that. Like, how is that going to bring you happiness? Maybe you pass it on to someone, I already have everything in order in case I pass for certain people to get certain things, and that makes me happy to know that they would be, I can't say well taken care of, but, that would be taken care of. That would at least bring to a couple people, at least at the bare minimum, more resources and possibly, I can't say joy, but because I don't know exactly what that would do to them, but I would have peace knowing that I left something behind from all my life's work. There you go. And it's continuously, constantly growing. Hopefully I don't pass early, but if I pass later in life, they would have hopefully, quite a chunk. And that would probably bring some joy and excitement in their life, But anyway, so moving right along. Yeah, I read a book recently on this, and I finished it recently before I left for Maryland. And this guy had like an insane amount. Oh my god, I can't even. Anyway, it was in the tens of millions, and so he was like basically miserable, like most millionaires, and I can only imagine nowadays, and being told your money's worthless, like shit. Some people make it their whole life, and then they're told that's worthless too. It's like, oh damn, what do you do then, right? So he basically decided to just give his will early, give it away early, and he left like a little bit for himself to live off of, which was very noble of him and made him look less like a POS. Because in the first part of reading the book, the first quarter of the book, I was like, first of all, get to the point. Second of all, I was like, oh my god, this guy's so arrogant. Like, that's honestly, that's what I perceive a lot of like really rich people. I'm not talking about rich, I'm talking really rich people. The ones I've talked to at least and like dated before, they're like so arrogant. It's like actually disgusting. It makes you like barf in your mouth a little bit. They're just so show-offy, a lot of them. And it's really sad, but anyway. So but that was my perception. I was like, oh my god, ew. But then like the more I read, I was like, oh, he actually changed, like he actually is giving. But like sometimes I'm like wondering, like, do they do it as an ego thing, like an ego trip, like here's $1 million early? Like, I don't know, like it just seems like an ego trip still to me. But anyway, but a very noble nonetheless, to give like 90-95% of your work. It's like shit, like good for you, man, right? But so I don't know, that kind of inspired me to, I'm like, life is so short. I definitely don't have it like that. I don't even have 1 million, not to mention 10 or 50 million like he did. But it still makes you think, like, if you have 1 million plus, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, no, seriously, like, give it early. Give it to someone you love, your husband, your wife, your child. Okay, maybe not your child. They will spend it like crazy. Okay, no. Keep that in the trust fund. Your parent who's raised you, wiped your butt when you were a baby, like clothed and fed you all your life. Someone that is about to pass. That's the perfect person to give it to, so they can enjoy the rest of their years. Hello. And he was smart. He was like, okay, I know some people are gonna spend this money, so I'm gonna make sure they are immediately on board with a financial advisor and someone who's a life coach that can help guide them on their life path. And he made them write down goals that they want to use that money for before he gave it to them. And he said, when I see your homework is done and you give me the list of things you want in your life to the T, like in detail, I'm going to give you this $1 million, whatever. So they did that. They knew exactly what they wanted, and he rewarded them with the early will. The will that they were supposed to get if he died. He gave it early. He's like old as hell anyway, so like late 80s, I think. So soon is his time anyway, but he decided to do it early. That's the perfect time. And maybe I'll do that someday. Maybe if I, God willing, live. I don't mind living long as I have a good life. I really don't mind. Life is beautiful with pain, suffering, and the good moments as well. There's so much, because I know how much growth there is here, that you gain and receive. I'd rather spend this life learning and grow, no matter how painful, than having to start all over in a new life, because you forget why you come here. You have to start all over again, do the whole stupid school from K through 12 and some of college all over again, unless you're in another planet. So I'd rather just like be here I didn't even realize how much therapy could have helped me until I did it. I kept like pushing it away, and then like I tried like maybe 4 or 5 different forms of like counseling and therapists, and it has really changed things for me. I think I found a little more peace. You know, I've tried so many tools, you know, God gives me a lot of peace. But anyway, I'm sure everyone can relate to some degree, you know. And yeah, so I don't know. Everyone has their own unique path. I've changed my belief system so many times, like I changed underwear, okay? Speaking of which, I just learned recently you gotta change your underwear every 6 to 12 months. Oh my gosh. I didn't know you had to do it that quickly. Like, even if you wash them every day. Who knew? So I need to get to that. But anyway, random. I'm going into verging in many random subjects. I hope you enjoyed opening your third eye today with me. I'm gonna actually go outside now and film a video trimming my shrubs, because this rental company, God bless them, they were the best rental company I have probably ever worked with. And I've only worked with one before this one. But wow, they gave me a beautiful home. It was a 4-bed, 2-bath, 1833 square feet. Beautiful, like Jurassic Park backyard. But let me tell you something, like, they really disappointed me in the last minute. I'll keep them anonymous, but they expected me to paint the walls, even if I have a little bit of a mess up. I tried doing like a little touch up with the holes in the walls from like hanging art and stuff. And apparently if you rub alcohol on it or like warm soapy water, it'll get the paint off. So I'm still working on touching up, but you can kind of see. Sorry. You can't see it from here, but you can kind of see in the light like a reflection. I don't want to get charged off my security deposit, you know? So I've been working on that. I had to go to Sherwin-Williams, get some paint to match it. They didn't send it. They said I have to hire professional cleaning. That's $400 alone. Oh my gosh. Because it's part of the lease contract. So they got me good. They charged me double rent. So I owe like $4,600. Oh, was a costly move. I'm paying double rent right now because I have the other place right now. I just finished doing a creative project. I was putting these gray curtains I ordered online and trying to get them roped and velcroed on the patio to have like full privacy. I finally finished as of last night. It took me several weeks to plan it out, measure. Oh, it was just, it was a tedious process, but I finally did it. You know, getting the ladder is like very high up there. It gets windy, it makes you nervous. Like, oh, it was quite a project. I'm glad I'm done though. It's fully private now. So decorating the pool area, it's beautiful. It's a palatial lanai. Like, it's the most gorgeous home I've ever lived. The second most gorgeous home I've ever lived in. But yeah, they disappointed me. They're like, oh, you gotta trim the shrubs too. So now I gotta go trim the shrubs. So I'm like, 2 birds, 1 stone. I'm gonna go film because I think that's so relaxing. So I ordered some shears online and I got the shears finally to my door. So I'm gonna go do that now. I gotta make sure the lawn is trimmed. So I gotta call the lawnmower after just to get one last trim before I head out in a couple weeks. This house is, you can hear it kind of echo. It's almost completely empty now. We're almost completely done. It just maybe a little bit of the furniture left. I'm gonna have to call the movers. So this whole move cost me like, with the double rent, the movers, the cleaning fee, the early termination, I think I'm looking at somewhere around, I don't know. This is why your support is so important on this channel, because this was all so unexpected. Oh my gosh. I'm doing the math. I mean, I was just curious. I'm still renting. I don't know. I'm not buying right now. That's too expensive. Buying a home, actually, you lose more money right now by buying it versus renting, especially with the increase in homeowner insurance, property tax, blah, 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 blah. Repairs, unexpected fees. The maintenance, I haven't paid a single. This is how much I paid in 2 years living here. $0.00 in repairs. The issues I've had in this house would have cost me thousands in repair fees. In the last 2 years, I paid zero. So, yeah, that was nice. So anyways, yeah, but I think that's all I wanted to share today. I'm just kind of rambling about my life a little bit, catching up with you. It's been a minute since I sat down to really pensived my mind, just allow my thoughts to wander and ramble. It feels sometimes very